Appreciate that shit, dog. Speaking of
That's from
drinking,
1738. Yeah, baby.
oh shit, yeah, man. R.I.P. Fetty Wap. Yeah, nigga ain't even dead. We just don't know what the fuck he doing. But
Fetty Wap,
speaking of,
hit our line, Fetty Wap. If you're alive, text one of us. Let us know what's going on.
we got our first celebrity guest on the pod, my nigga. But lit man. On the lit side, I think, man, I'm getting over the whole like being just ignorantly drunk phase of my life. I didn't think I was ever gonna get past it, but like, I ain't trying to be like in the club like trying to fight niggas no more. Like I'm on some more like wine lit. Like that. I think that's my perfect type of drunk for real. Like more like some painting naked portraits shit, or burning incense, listening to Peebo Bryson shit. Like
Let's see, that's always been somewhere in my steez too. Well, actually, I can't even say that because I have been the ignorant drunk on too many occasions, and I keep letting it happen.
more than a couple. It
This,
won't be the last either.
this past weekend, I was that same ignorant drunk, uh, acting a fool at the beach. But hopefully at some point I reach that. I want to try hopefully get better before 30, but I don't know, man. This life thing is crazy, so I don't know if I'll ever get there.
It's a lot of life to live, nigga. Until they take E&J and Hypnotic off the shelves, nigga, I assume you will be the same ignorant West. So, hey, motherfuckers, live with it.
Every now and then, you know what I'm saying, most of the majority of the time, you dig, we in that mode. Yeah. This is a moment of clarity. Everything VVs and go to the maximum. Young nigga fled out of eczema, flawless the face and ran through a pack of them. Everything classical, everything magical. When they were checking my catalog, eating no caviar, smash on the stallion, draped in medallions, yeah. Depend on the caliber, put on the passenger, whatever time, wherever I was set. Look on the calendar, yeah, we compatible. I have a flying wherever I'm at. Two astronomical, way too phenomenal. Now have a naked where I land. I got a second option and a fourth and fifth whenever a nigga stand. I had it falling right out of my pocket when I was just smashing her. She seen the bands. Her body Coca-Cola and she seen the can. The Glock was still on me while we was romance. Think I fell in love with this girl.
But
Guess who's Bizzack? Still smell the podcast in my clothes. Let me have to relapse on you hoes. We are back in the building.
Big relapse, much needed relapse. Niggas been clean and sober for about the last month, but we gotta inject that culture straight into y'all veins. You feel me? The bub shit. You feel me? The pookie shit. We here. All right, we here. This that liquid, this that heroin, that podcast heroin. Episode 8 of Beware the Ills. I am your boy, Uptown Ace Boogie. Fuck all the other names. We got business to get fucking down to, my nigga. So I'm here. I'm in this bitch. Yeah, life happened. Yeah, we've been doing some hood rat shit with our friends, and we got a lot more hood rat shit to do with our friends this summer. But for right fucking now, y'all been waiting too goddamn long. We've been on too much nigga shit, and on behalf of myself and my dear friend Wesley over here, we apologize for our niggerness. We be out somewhere, we be ready to sit down, do the pod, and somebody throw a chair. And once that chair hit the ground, it's a wrap. We gotta go be niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Shit breaks off. Yeah, it's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a podcast to step to. I got all the bars today. But yes, introduce myself on the other side. Wes, ain't that Wes? Dick Dashley, T Mart Washington, ready for timeout. All this shit, but yeah, like I also said, we got business to attend to today. We've been gone, but we are back now. So you had some time off to prepare yourself to catch up, and now we about to go full throttle, all up in that ass.
Full motherfucking throttle in that ass. Anal, no lube. You feel me? None whatsoever. So we coming hard, we coming raw. Ain't no strapping up out here. So we gonna dive right the fuck in. So we here. Right now, it's been a few things going on out here in the world and shit, but in terms of the culture, there are two very prevalent, pertinent things that have basically dominated the landscape over the past week or so. One being NBA free agency. I'm in.
Whew.
You know, myself and the rest of the city of Cleveland is in mourning. You know, we'll get deeper into that later. You know, LeBron just ran off on us. You know, like our name was Adonis. You know, he just man,
Hey man, he was tired of sending them DMs, and he pulled up. He actually pulled up this time. I'm glad he chose up. I mean,
oh God. So I, you know what? I will, you know, rise up out of my crippling motherfucking depression. We'll discuss this a little bit. I feel like our main two topics on the show today, NBA free agency as well as Drake and Scorpion. I feel like we got some really interesting perspective.
I I don't know what type of sound Scorpions makes. My Scorpion sound.
I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Is that a hydraulic pump? I'm like, all right. We got two very interesting takes, very two good contrasting takes. Myself being a Cavs fan, who just left. I mean, who just lost. You know, the woman of our dreams, to that new nigga that got a little bit more money to stay out on the West Coast. You feel me? Um,
And then my perspective as a Lakers fan, East Coast Lakers fan, but Lakers fan nonetheless, who was not truly expecting LeBron to come, but upon hearing the news, felt some type of way. I'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, we got two different like perspective that are really impactful in the situation, LeBron situation, as well as the rest of free agency and what's going on.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. I'm still very angry, but I'm very angry for different reasons that we will get into. And the other prevalent topic, the niggas out here in the streets sound about right now, um, is like I said, Drake and Scorpion. Also, two very very good different type of takes on it. You got Mr. You know, in my feelings, Wes, Drake Stan. I won't say numero uno, but he's top three and he not three. Um,
Oh yeah, it's definitely I'm on the Mount Rushmore of Drake stands, and they're all
four
four
different
different expressions of
of
me.
you
So
and me being somebody who has always been a fan, has always liked Drake, but is a nigga that's not afraid to hold that motherfucker accountable. We don't need no hot takes of the week segment because my hot takes are discussing Drake. So y'all gonna have to, you know, just have to bear with us until, you know, we get to the point where, you know, I take this light skinned nigga to church because he need to hear about himself. All right, so that's gonna come up as well. We also got a smooth little our top five segment of the week. Is also gonna be about Drake, but you not quite sure what aspect of Drake is gonna be about. Is it gonna be Drake's top five butterfaces with block booties? Possibly. Is it? Is it gonna be Drake's top five date spots with Odell Beckham Jr.? Is it, you know, is it gonna be Drake's top five unsubstantiated rhymes that we absolutely do not believe? Who knows? You gonna have to make it through the rest of the pod.
I feel like
to see what's popping.
I feel like you are the two topics we have. I feel like you're taking the anger from one of the topics and throwing it all on the other topic.
Transferring? No, we would never around here.
I don't know if I like the direction of this podcast
you know,
already.
But hey, you know what? Well, you know what? Defend it. Stand for your man. All right. You know, you and ODB probably gonna have to fight over him. But you know what? It's okay. All right. We gonna get into Drizzy a little bit later, but we gonna start this bitch with my hurt. Yes, I'm in my feelings. I'm upset.
Let it out.
So
Let it out,
over just my voice cracked and everything. Over you know, past few days, you know, we I believe it was a Friday or Saturday.
Whenever the first, I think maybe Saturday night, Friday.
Yeah.
One of these days. When something big happens and you enjoyed it, you just don't even remember. It's just all blends together.
Wow. We and King's dead. One LeBron James decided to take his talents to Malibu Beach, Venice Beach. Ain't shit, nigga. He signed a 4-year, $152 million deal with the Lakers.
154. Give that man all his
I'm
money.
sorry. He left, nearly $80 million on the table that he could have gotten, more that he could have gotten from the Cavs in order to go to LA. And, to be completely honest, I'm sitting here, I'm upset, I'm distraught. This ain't 2010. Am I happy? No, because this is the end of another, the most fruitful era in the history of the franchise. Going to the finals every year with fucking Jeff Green on your team. You feel me? Jeff Green and George Hill head asses. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun to live through this shit. It was fun to be here in the city and to feel the energy. When Cavs season is around, or especially when playoffs and shit come around. It's depressing in the sense that you just watch probably the second greatest player of all time leave your city for the second time. That's shitty.
Ain't got nothing back either.
And no sign and trade, which was really the only thing that shocked me. I was definitely expecting that a nigga wasn't gonna leave us empty-handed again, but then you realize who our fucking owner is, and it makes a little bit of sense. I'm a little bit upset that he signed a 4-year deal with the Lakers and been giving us a 1-1 every year for the last 4 years. That's a little disrespectful, if you ask me. But again, he don't know his shit. As well as, you got to look at it from the angle of, shit, nigga, this is your team. You built this team exactly how you wanted it. You got your coach, that you can dick around. You are the coach. You feel me? And then on top of that, you put together your entire team with the guys that you handpicked every year for the last 4 years, and then got the audacity, got all your bum friends, massive contracts. This is Brian here was doing the equivalent of 50 Cent. You feel me? He get on, he get Tony Yayo a deal. You know what I'm saying? Master P get on, he gets Silk the Shocker a deal. And they is getting paid. JR getting paid whatever he wants. Shumpert got paid whatever he wanted. TT, obviously. And you crafted this team from top to bottom in your kingly image. And then had the audacity to bounce on us like we did something wrong. You did this. You feel me?
Well, the reason why a lot of them got contracts outside of Tristan is winning the championship. People are gonna get paid, because I think JR got paid after the chip. I think Shump got paid after the chip. So it was kind of understandable at the time to renew it. You guys went on the championship. Let's run it back with the unit that just won a chip. But the king he can only do so much, man. He's trying to put people in positions. He's not the full GM. He's not in the office every day trying to run the numbers and figure out what he's trying to do. He's just trying
but everything was running past him until the second that he decided that he didn't want nothing to run past him anymore. When he knew he was on his way out the door. That's foul. To me, that's foul. Like, you set up something exactly how you want it. It's like, I DJ. So it's like, imagine you setting up a party, right? And you say the only way I'm doing this party, only way I'm doing this gig is if I get top to bottom, I get full control. Yeah, it ain't official. Your name ain't in every title on the flyer, but behind the scenes, you picking the venue, you picking the host, you get all your people in for free, even niggas that don't deserve to be there, even niggas that's coming in with dirty black forces and white tees. You feel me? You get all your dudes in. You get all the girls there that you want. Handpicked, all of them in the door. You pick your price, how long you want to be there, and everything else. Then in the middle of the party, you like, you know what? I know I put all this together, but I'm not feeling it. It's a better party across the street. Come on, bruh. Come on, man.
Oh, when that party's in LA, you got to fade to that LA party, dog. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can party all year long outside. But that's kind of something you could kind of point towards management and ownership, saying, hey, why are you giving this individual so much power? But at the same time, that individual was the one that vaulted this franchise to the levels that we have seen it over these past pre-decision years and after he came back. Like this team hasn't been to a finals without LeBron James as a leading scorer or LeBron James at all. So it's kind of like a catch-22, and you got to give him what he wants because he's the one that's going to lead you to where you guys need to be. But at the same time, you give him what he wants, you lose control. And at the end of the day, it's always going to look bad upon you versus him because he can do no wrong in the city.
Motherfucker.
Guess what though? You don't have to worry about it anymore. That's our problem. Let me take that burden from you.
You know what?
Brother.
That's fine. You know, like I said, I really hope y'all have a good time getting knocked out of the second round. You know, I'm happy for you. You know, you.
Oh, it's gonna be lit. T2.
You are just a fan who just gets all the shit that you do not deserve. All right, you didn't deserve Mike Stanton.
Michael,
all right?
My sweet child, Michael, my sweet biracial angel.
You don't deserve Bron. You don't deserve nothing else, bruh. But you know what? You know you just fall into the shit. You know it's just a present to you, apparently. So you know what? Take it. When you can have it. I wish injury on all of them.
Yikes. When you're a praying man, good things happen. You know what I'm saying? When you have a good relationship with God, things tend to go your way. But from a Lakers perspective, coming in this offseason, I really, actually even dating back to like last season when the speculations started rising on LeBron leaving Cleveland, I necessarily didn't want LeBron coming to LA. I was watching my young boys. I was feeling my young boys. I said, hey, let's build this from the bottom into being a contender. Even if it may take years, I want to see like the growth of the young boys. But as we got closer to the end of the season, I said, you know what? Why would I shun a gift? If the best player in the world wants to come hang out with my niggas, who am I, a mere fan, to say no?
You know what? I will say y'all in a much better position because LeBron does not have, as great as LeBron is, he does not have the equity to do to the Cavs, do to the Lakers what he did to the Cavs. He's not gonna come in. He's not gonna run the organization from top to bottom. Genie ain't having that shit.
That's the one thing. Yeah. Genie don't play that shit. Magic literally has destroyed a disease that has killed millions of people. He is standing on top of it like Captain fucking Morgan on HIV and AIDS. So that's like the one thing. The Lakers is probably one of the only organizations, I would say maybe one out of like 2, maybe 3 organizations in professional basketball in which the team is bigger than LeBron.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree 200%. You know, it's I just, for me, and I've mentioned this, before in various group chats and whatnot. I think the issue now is, how do you gauge this man's legacy? I'm me, just from my angle. First and foremost, he brought a championship to the city of Cleveland. He kept that promise, and for that, this city will forever be grateful. Period. It ain't right now. It may sound like a little bit of salt, a little bit of malaise, but it's not. We're not angry, and there's not a lot of anger going around in the city either. Obviously, like I said, disappointment, but this ain't 2011. We not burning jerseys and none of that. He brought us a championship that honestly he didn't owe us, but he came back, he made that promise, and he fulfilled that promise to generations and generations of people. So for that, he always gonna be good in the hood. But at the same time, you look at a man who, from how I'm starting to perceive it, that nigga leaves when the going gets tough. All right, and it could go both ways. But as I mentioned before too, I appreciate the fact that he spearheaded this era of player power. All right, a player choice where we taking the power out of the hands of the hegemonic white owners, who want to keep the status quo, who want to keep the good old boys in line, who want to keep the field niggers in line, who want to control salary caps and contracts and where people are allowed to go and everything else. And LeBron, starting with that decision in 2010, was the first guy to really get that ball rolling. So you know what? I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to make X amount of money. But a little bit later on, I want to push this limit that y'all placed upon us. To say we can't have X amount of great players on the team. We can only make X amount of money. When he left in 2010, what was the max? 16 million a year, roughly.
Somewhere around. I think it was maybe no, because Jordan was making 30 a year like the last couple years he played, but it wasn't nowhere near what it is now.
But it was I know the salary cap rules were also a little bit different. I'm pretty sure the max when LeBron left was like 5 years, 90 million. I think that was the most that you could have at that time.
Nah, niggas been signing $100 million deals for a minute, but the amount that the amount of cap space one max salary can hold has gone up. I know that's like for sure. Like Like now, like a super max contract, I think is like up to can be 35% of the cap or whatever.
Yeah. Well, but also people been signing, Rashard Lewis, $100 million deals for a while, but also at that time there wasn't a limit on the amount of years, so you could sign somebody to like a 7-year deal, or there was a different limit, so you could sign somebody to like a 7-year, $100-some million deal. But they also around 08, 09, I'm pretty sure they lowered that limit down. I think a new deal was maybe 4 or 5, and an extension was 6 or something like that. But regardless, it looked a lot different. Now we looking at these super max deals where people can pull in damn near $40 million a year. So you look at, in that time, in this 8-year time period, that shit's doubled damn near. So give the man a lot of credit for that, bringing the power back to the union, bringing the power to the people who deserve it. But at the same time, when you look at legacy, and we always bring up this fictitious, nonsensical ring talk. You feel me? And well, this person stayed on one team longer than this guy, and this person was loyal, and this is whatever. I ain't even really looking at it from a loyalty aspect. I'm looking at it from an aspect of every time a team faced some adversity, that nigga bounced. And legacy-wise, I don't think it would be a big deal. I don't think his finals record would be a big deal if he did it all on 1 or 2 teams. But when you are 2-5 in the finals and you literally get to go to whatever team you want and construct it however you feel like every time y'all start losing, then that shit don't look as good.
Well, from my perspective, I feel like his legacy is almost set in stone. I feel by any metric, he is one of the top, at worst, 4 players of all time.
Agreed.
So I feel this. I personally feel he's top 2. Well, actually top 3, depending on how I feel at that given time and moment. But this Lakers move, I think, can only enhance his legacy because no one has ever been.
Oh, please give me a rationale.
Listen, like I said, it's set in stone. So the only thing that can happen is it go up. So if he were to lead the Lakers to a championship, he would be the only player to lead 3 separate franchises to championships as like the leading man.
That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
It is.
Taking a Miami team they had won 1 championship prior to him, winning back-to-back titles, winning 4 championship appearances in a row there.
Yeah.
Going to Cleveland, bringing them 5 total championship appearances after having none before and winning the first championship in the city since 54?
Yeah.
There. Then coming to LA, one of the top 2 most storied franchises in the entire league, and bringing a championship there. That's going to be hard to top as far as career accomplishments. That's going along with all the individual accomplishments, all NBAs,
but now,
all defenses, star titles, whatever.
That's what I said when he came back here and brought us the ring. When he brought up, you win Cleveland the championship, I already said, I feel like that Cleveland ring is worth 3 in my mind. Being a Cleveland fan and understanding that struggle, we get, especially you being close to Philly. Philly fans are the fucking worst because they complain, ooh, the Eagles haven't been to a Super Bowl since blah blah blah, and the Phillies haven't won a World Series since blah blah blah, and the Flyers haven't won since the Broad Street Bull. Like niggas, y'all still don't go more than 15 years total. You know what I'm saying? Without getting a ring,
Yeah.
and no matter what sport it is.
Shit, not even getting a ring. Not even getting a ring. Just being good.
Like that's what I'm saying. I get pissed when people complain about
Yeah.
individual teams out of their 4 teams in their city that don't win shit when we didn't win a single thing for 50 plus years. I couldn't even get there in most sports.
So yeah, only a handful of just appearances to even be in that
So
position to win.
you know, that ring's worth a lot. But God, also though, I kind of feel if he gets one with the Lakers, that's unprecedented, for sure. And winning it on 3 completely different types of teams. You've got a Heat team that was always good and really competitive, but couldn't get over the hump, with the exception of the D Wade year. Then you got the Cavs, who was just the drizzling shits, for a lot of the time, except for the Jordan years when he like put us out the playoffs like 4 out of 6 years. Yeah, for real. Yeah, slapping us around with his meat. That shit was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then Lakers team, who's a dynasty, one of the most historic franchises in all the sports, and being able to potentially restore them to glory. That's a great narrative. But at the same time, I feel like he puts himself in a position where he discounts his losses. He hedges his bets. LeBron is maybe the smartest athlete we have ever seen, in terms of maximizing himself, maximizing his potential, business-wise. Just putting himself always, no matter what, putting himself in the best position economically and professionally. And this move is no different. He picks places where, with the exception of the Miami move, with the not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, with the exception of that, where he kind of backed himself into a corner. Coming back to Cleveland and now going to LA, he's coming in like I respect females on Twitter and trying to revive dead franchises. So it's like, if he doesn't do it, then it's like, oh, you know what? It's cool. You feel me? They sucked anyway. He did everything he could. They went to the finals 4 times and he won 1. That's.
I mean, like, I feel that, but like, it's when you look at it from a perspective of like just a regular. Imagine he's just like a regular person. That's the one thing about sports is we kind of like imagine stuff to kind of be this storybook narrative or trying to make things seem a little bit more like more enhanced than they are. Because if you look at this shit just from a regular person doing a job perspective, oh, I see my company's about to fail, or it's not going how it's supposed to go. Let me get out of here and move to a different company. Let me go ahead and see what's going on over here.
Yeah, I mean, but we all know sports world is different.
I know. I hate it.
Sports world, entertainment world, it's we move on, different. It operates on a higher plane, and I don't know. I can see your rationale. I can definitely see your rationale. But to me, again, a genius who puts himself in a position where he hedges his bets. If he didn't bring that ring back to Cleveland and he retired, let's say, 6 finals appearances, no ring, career 2-8 in the finals, 2-7 in the finals. Yeah, he'd be looked at negatively, but then he would always have that. But he was in Cleveland, so it's cool. You know what I'm saying? And with the Lakers now, y'all been so ass.
Let's calm down, Cleveland sports fan, about talking about people who are ass. How about that?
y'all been so ass for so long now that, again, he's in a position, and also everybody was saying, oh, LeBron don't want to go out west. He gonna have to bang with Golden State, or he gonna have to bang with, I guess, even possibly a retool OKC, or he gonna have to bang with Houston. He have to whatever. It's murderer's row. Yeah, it would make sense for him to stay out east where he has an easier road to the finals, but he's been to the finals for 19 straight years. He don't care about that. Now he's in a position where, again, if they don't get nowhere, you're playing the greatest team talent-wise ever assembled. Oh, it's playing Golden State. He's all right. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, while I do get your point, the man is smart. And I will not take that away from him. But when it comes down for me to rank my personal legacy, even taking, my Cavs, obviously, fan bias out of it. If I'm looking from an objective point of view and I'm just looking on how he's moved and how he has carried himself and how he's put himself in position, I give him major points for putting himself in a position where he really can't lose. But also, you don't necessarily always get the most out of a situation when you can't lose. As weird as it sounds, I think this Lakers move is safe. I think it's safe.
I definitely get what you're trying. I get what you're saying. I feel like if he stayed in Cleveland, that's the ultimate. Like, that's what I expected him to do. I expected him to stay in Cleveland, ride out the rest of his career, taking teams to the finals or as far as he can, and just finish up like that. But I feel like it's a little bit of a choice too, because there is that whole, this is the Lakers. You're a great player. Great players are supposed to lead Lakers to championships. You look at like the greatest players of all time, the majority of them, of like a year's arbitrary like top 10, 15, a lot of them have played for Lakers. A lot of them have brought Lakers championships. So I feel like the pressure is there for him to deliver a championship to LA in his time while he's here. So I don't know. LeBron, he's definitely the smartest. I think one of the smartest athletes that's ever played or been around sports. So he knows what he's doing. I gotta respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I mean, we're not mad at him. From a lifelong Cleveland fan. I'm not following LeBron in LA. As we
you had to put in your application to be a Lakers fan by last week. You missed the deadline anyway, nigga.
As a Cleveland fan, I've stated on this pod before that I've never been a LeBron fan. I've obviously respect him as one of the top 3 and not 3 greatest players of all time. What he did for the city, just his greatness on the basketball court. But I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm not a fan of I don't follow players. I'm loyal to my city. So if we're ready to go through some more Lamar Murray, Jermaine Jones years, then Austin Coley, strap up. It's saddle up, buddy. It's time to go through some more losing, But thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Appreciate what you did. But talking about Brian and his defection brings us to an even more serious topic, serious issue. The world is supposed to be about peace and are trying to find peace and coming together and helping your brother, helping thy neighbor, and just overall trying to make the world a better place. Then you got niggas like DeMarcus Cousins that just want to tear down the fabric of fucking society. Fucking anarchists like DeMarcus Cousins. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. I am more mad about DeMarcus Cousins when healthy, the best center in the NBA, in my opinion. Going to the Golden State fucking Warriors. I am more upset about that shit than I was when LeBron left the first time. And that, it says a lot, because as much as pissed out as I was at LeBron for how the decision went down, I respected his agency to be able to leave. Again, like we all talked about, I just talked about with the whole player power thing. But DeMarcus Cousins, you bitch.
Boogie. Oh my God.
Listen, bruh. This hurts because Boogie was my favorite player until that moment. All right. So, you hear all this bullshit in the media, all these claims that he didn't get no other offers from them. I'm not buying that shit. You mean to tell me that DeMarcus fucking Cousins, I don't care how bad his attitude is, I don't care how bad his torn Achilles was. You think that that nigga expects us to believe that nobody offered him a fucking contract out of 30 teams in the fucking NBA? Don't lie to me, nigga.
Yeah, I think he's like my mom used to say, do you see Boo Boo the Fool written on my forehead? I think DeMarcus thinks that we are all Boo Boo the Fool to believe such nonsense on him. But to say this is even more upsetting for when LeBron left is it's kind of shocking to hear. Because I was in Ohio, actually in Ohio when the decision was made, and I was around some people. They were cutting up jerseys. I still have a sliver of the road wine jersey.
A sliver
somewhere up in my room somewhere. But from my perspective, like Boogie is definitely my favorite big in the league.
Yeah,
probably like in my top 5 favorite players playing. But for him, I don't know. As a Laker fan, I would have loved to have Boogie, but I'm not upset we don't have him.
And according to him, y'all didn't want him. Which
apparently we passed on him for the same $5 million that he ended up signing for in Golden
State. That also
but,
don't read. It's just some ain't adding up, bruh. Something's not adding up.
Well, I'm kind of as a fan who's somewhat rational in like the business and just human side of sports at times. I kind of salute Boogie. You got to rap as a terrible teammate. You got to rap as a nigga that just comes in and just fucks shit up, and you're wild. You're a child. Go to the best team in the league. They have a need for you. You can provide.
Them niggas ain't got no needs.
If you had to pick out one tiny minuscule almost problem that they have, it would have to be the center position. Niggas running out there with Zazas and JaVale high as fuck on the court, doing high shit. So you can go there, you can rehab at your own pace because the team is good enough without you to win a championship. So you take your time to get back, play, show the rest of the league that you're healthy, win a ring, kind of shed or lessen the he's a loser, he's a terrible teammate. You got a ring, you didn't come up and fuck up their chemistry, and then you go get a max contract somewhere else, and you back in business.
Fair. Very fair.
It's like there's the only potential loss is if you come in and fuck it up, but then the blame is going to be on you regardless, and then you're still going to get your money, you're still going to get your max. So there's really light in just the feedback and shit you hear from Twitter and social media. So there's no real downside to it. So do your thing, bro.
No, bitch. He's a bitch.
Respect that as well.
This is coming from a place of hurt. Let that hurt go, King. Nope, I ain't letting a bit of it go. Again, Achilles injury, he'll be out for a little while. Whatever. It's always a couple of things that always get you. And with Kevin Durant, it was the fact that not that he left OKC. It wasn't even necessarily that he went to Golden State. That was part of it. That was a big part of it. But everybody knows that the biggest issue with that was the fact that he blew a 3-1 lead against Golden State and then left all his teammates and went to the niggas that beat them.
Yep, that is literally the only issue I had with that.
Absolutely unforgivable. LeBron leaving the first time, it was all about how it was done. It was in extremely poor taste. And with Boogie here in this scenario, my issue is, nigga, you clown Kevin Durant on camera. You mouthed the words that he was a snake. You laughed at him. You whatever in his little press conference. You made many comments and little local interviews and everything over the past couple years that you can. I never do nothing like that. I'm loyal to my niggas and blah 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 blah. And look at your bitch ass.
He told y'all years ago. I want to say what year was it? 2014, 15. He's a third Splash brother. He told you. You should have seen this coming. You niggas not your peripheral vision. Don't blame Boogie. Blame yourself.
So I mean, it's just, and there's that, but the largest issue, numero uno, um, this is bigger than basketball. This is a players' union problem.
How so? Please tell me.
Now, do I believe that DeMarcus Cousins was not getting the contract offers that he would have gotten, which would be absolute max offers if healthy? I do believe that. I do believe that his injury affected him in some way.
Clearly, yeah.
Were a couple of teams, maybe like the Spurs or the Pacers or a team like that, or the Jazz, probably scared off by his demeanor, his attitude, his real nigginess, probably. So that might hit his value a little bit too, but even with the injury, you are no worse than top 3 in the league at your position. And when you are in that position of power, it is your responsibility to your players union to take the most money that you can fucking get. And that ain't got nothing to do with the owners. That ain't got nothing to do with whatever. This happens more in baseball, as Wes would know. People have come to the Yankees and also left the Yankees because of X amount of money getting offered to them. Basically, you get in those situations, you get sat down in a meeting, and they like, listen, bruh, Robinson Cano, you have to take this contract to go to Seattle because you're going to raise the value of all second basemen in baseball, which means that the second best second baseman, the third best second baseman, the fourth best second baseman are all going to make more money because it's essentially, for non-sports fans, it's the essential, it's the equivalent of setting the curve.
Yeah, it's like breaking that barrier down.
Yeah.
So that those behind you can get similar success or similar, like in we're talking about sports, similar contracts, similar money that you got because you took a larger deal.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily about you kind of finding the best situation for you. It's about you kind of just taking the best money you can get for those who come after you.
Big facts.
And that's what Boogie didn't do that in this situation.
Nah. So,
but in the same vein,
he didn't not only just do it. It's not like, okay, well, I'm gonna take $10 million less dollars, or $20 million less dollars, or $30 million less dollars, or in LeBron's case, I'm gonna leave 80 on the table to make sure I can play for the Lakers. He took the mid-level exception.
In the same vein, you have to account for his injury too. This nigga's coming off an Achilles injury. We've seen few NBA players come off a Achilles injury and be even 80% of what they were previously. So it's definitely and we've never seen a big guy, because Boogie's a big nigga. He's about 6'11", 270, some shit like that. So he never seen no big nigga come back and be the same player he was. So it's kind of a risk on the team side to say, hey, let me throw you this big ass guarantee, not knowing what the fuck's going on and what you'll be like. But in the same vein, he should have took a little bit more money. But I can't be mad at him, man. Go get your motherfucking ring, dog. The bay is tight. You can listen to E40. You can do your Thizzle dance. I'm not mad at you. Do your thing, bro.
The Thizzle dance. R.I.P. Mac Drake. So this essentially, these moves have turned the league upside down, and because of it, I am renouncing basketball as a sport. I've only loved it since I was a small child. Like I said, I'm just have to take up a new hobby. I hear hot yoga's pretty cool.
Just real quickly, this is something I've been asking people who have been giving up basketball. Did you feel the Warriors were not going to win this year's championship coming up?
I thought that, honestly,
in your heart of hearts,
I feel as if Boston could have given Golden State, a fully healthy Boston could give Golden State a strong run, as formerly constructed. So Boogie just made it so they're gonna go 80-2. Even if he comes back in February, they'll go 80-2. So,
see, from my perspective, I saw them niggas winning this championship regardless. I feel like this is their league until one of their core four, that being Wack Curry, who just had a child. Salute to him. Named his child
Sir,
after
young
named his
Cannon.
child after the fifth best song on Dedication 2. The PBS logo, Klay Thompson. Mr. AKA Mr. I Don't Have a Brush, Kevin Durant, and the dick kicker, Draymond Green. Until one of them leaves, this is Golden State's league. So I felt they're going to win this title regardless. So and Boogie just kind of almost ensures it. So I think after the season, Clay's up. Clay's a free agent. So
I think honestly, I think Clay gonna end up on the Lake Show. To be completely honest,
I don't know. I've seen a lot of stories about him already thinking about leaving money on the table just to resign in Golden State.
Well, if he is,
I would love him in LA, but I feel like Clay's the type of nigga that just doesn't give a fuck at all. Niggas high as shit all the time. He's like, I'm having fun with my homies. I'm shooting threes. I'm going to China. I'm wilding out. Why leave?
yeah. Well, you know,
NBA is it's in a tough place, but somebody put up a great stat the other day on Twitter using an iPhone note talking about everybody who said the NBA is ruined or something, and they ran through each of the decades and shown how.
I saw that. It's you can't compare the Wilt Chamberlain playing against 5'11" white dudes era. That it's different. All right,
man.
It's different.
I just found it right here. It's just like you got the Lakers in the late 40s and 50s, the Celtics. Then after that, the Celtics, Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls, Rockets, Bulls, Lakers, Spurs, Lakers, Celtics, LeBron, Spurs, Warriors. Like it's throughout the history of basketball, there's only been basketball essentially has been dominated by these.
It's dynastic.
Teams.
It's definitely dynastic. So. But it's not. Despite the dynasties, I don't think there's ever been a lack of competitive balance. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's only a certain few teams in league history that just steamrolled through the regular season and then steamrolled through the playoffs. Even those great Lakers, Celtics, Rockets, Warriors teams, whatever, they were scrapping. They just happened to win. You get what I'm saying? But now it's like I look at this shit like, nigga, the competitive balance is off. Like, we need to send these niggas to Congress or some shit. Like, this is not this looks like we gotta be breaking some type of antitrust law. Like, this is bullshit. Right?
I feel you, but I mean, we just saw the Warriors be a game away from Chris Paul hamstring away from getting the fuck out of here. My God,
that's Chris Paul's music.
My God, Chris Paul just loves getting injured in the playoffs. During
that's his
pivotal moments. But hey, I respect it. The consistency is key. I respect consistency.
Real shit. But obviously for Boogie to go to LA for the fucking mid-level exception, or for Bron to leave $80 million on the table to head to LA, obviously they got to be hiding some money. They got to have some money packed away, stored up for hibernation, stored up for the winter. And speaking of hiding, Drake is hiding a child. And that child was one of the major storylines of Drake's newest album, Scorpion. I don't know if the official numbers have come out yet. It has been certified platinum. I don't know if we've actually seen the number of units that was moved, but
I haven't seen it yet.
It did everything it was expected to do. Drake is an institution. Let me preface this entire conversation by saying that Drake is a fucking institution.
Death taxes and Drake selling records.
Facts. And I give this nigga all the credit in the world for being, in my opinion, the most marketable music act in the entire industry, regardless of race. He is universally marketable, and he has, like LeBron, the dude is smart. He moves just about as smart as anybody that I can ever remember seeing. So I give him all the P's in the world for that. Now, musically, let's start firing off them takes. Musically, he has not made anything close to a classic since Nothing Was the Same. That was 5 years ago, damn near going on. Drake, in 2013, a switch flipped in his mind. He realized that at that time is when I feel like he really started becoming a brand. You know what I'm saying? That's when he really started getting all them features, and then we say it now. Drake features, in my opinion, are worth more than being signed to a major label. If you get a Drake as a up and coming artist, if you get a Drake cosign, one Drake feature, you become that nigga. All right, touching that nigga turns to motherfucking gold.
We've seen it time and time again. It's very consistent. Everybody who gets a Drake feature on the come up ends up blowing up and becoming a big artist, or having the potential to be a big artist.
And, you know, even just this year, you know, just so far this year, Black Boy JB and Lil Baby and you know, and all these people. You know, going back, obviously your Migos and whatnot. Drake, at the very least, a Drake feature is going to buy you a year in the spotlight. Fetty Wap, you know, all of these people. He's gonna buy you a year in the spotlight. You'll probably end up with a major deal, and you're gonna have some platinum plaques, all from one light skinned nigga getting on a song with you. That is saying,
actually, he's light skinned, but he's still a dark nigga.
But yeah, dark. Yeah. When he's in blackface, I'm sure that's the case. I'm gonna get your opinion on Scorpion in a minute, but Drake has, like I said, he's hit a point where he's an institution, and I feel like after Nothing Was the Same is when he stopped trying. And when I say stop trying, I don't mean that he's not good, because he's still great. He's the best. Like I said, I think he's the best artist in the music industry in terms of just making songs. But in terms of that effort, that visceral effort, that just that hunger, you know, that passion for the game. That was it. He told his story 1, 2, 3 albums. He gave us a trilogy of a classic and a, you know, a borderline classic and a gem, and, you know, Thank Me Later, Take Care, and Nothing Was the Same. And then he started coasting, and we've heard that on his later projects. And Scorpion is no different. Scorpion is a very good album. It's something that we gonna rock all summer into the fall. We got a good mix of everything that you need for a successful Drake project. He hit on some good shit. He hit on Adonis, and, you know, he gave us some emotion Drake. He gave us some bravado Drake. He gave us basically everything we asked for. But it's not that great. It's good. And I have the same opinion about Scorpion that I had about If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and Views, and More Life. It's good. It's good. Is it great? Is this something I'm going to be listening to in 3, 4, 5 years? No. I do think this is his best project since Nothing Was the Same. But overall, I think our potential for ever getting another classic from Drake is gone. That is another hot take. That's it. That's it.
That's a hot take.
He passed it. It's not happening.
Well, I'm gonna address that first. I don't think so. Especially now, after putting out Scorpion, which, as a Drake stan, I will say is an alright album. It's good. It's not great, like you said. It's I feel like in this album, Drake kind of vacillated between trying and coasting. I feel like he developed, I think, almost a formula of what to do with projects, coming out with do a couple super feelings, super emotional storytelling shits. Give me some upbeat rap shit where I'm actually spitting these bars, talking this tough talk, and then just a mix of some pop shit. And it's a formula that's worked for him for the past, like you said, three projects, and it's working. So I don't see why he's going away from it. But
I will say, if I was in this position, I wouldn't go away from it. I would do it exactly the same way.
Not at all.
So,
not at all. So, initially looking at this project from a fan perspective, I was excited for it. I was expecting something great based on the reviews and what people were saying about More Life. I enjoyed More Life, but I can understand like a lot of the reviews were saying it was almost
Yeah.
lazy. Drake just coming out and just making music just to make music. So I was expecting him to come with some super fire here. When I heard it was a double album, that initially turned me off some. I feel double album. I'm not a huge fan of double albums. I feel like the perfect album is anywhere from like 10 to 13, 14 songs.
Hove
That
always
way,
used to stop at 14,
like 14.
so that's what I base it off of.
Yeah, and that's right. The greatest
True.
rapper of all time. But I
Shout
feel
out to
like
Jet Ski Hov.
that way you can kind of
our new
Yes,
meme,
yes.
our meme of the week.
Oh yeah. It's just salute to Sean Corey, doing a whole bunch of shit that I never would have thought he would do. But so yeah, so like I feel like 10 to 14 songs is a great place where you can be focused, where you can pare down when you have 25 songs into the best 10 to 14, which can kind of give you the potential to have that classic album if you have that many good records. I haven't gone through Scorpion and made my cuts yet.
I made a couple.
But I feel like I can definitely cut it down.
I need more Blueprint 2.1. You know, I need something out of it. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel like the highs of this album were high. Like your non-stops is a fire song. Shout out Take Keith from Memphis. I heard fucking these niggas up. After Dark is crazy. Shout out Ty Dolla $ign doing this thing on ever since Beach House 3 dropped, he's been balling. But I don't know. So I feel like if he would have trimmed this album down some, it could have been clearly one of his better albums. But as it currently stands, it's an alright album. I probably have it either fourth or fifth of all his albums, depending on how I feel about if you're reading this is too late.
That's fair. Very fair.
But that album's kind of growing on. I've been listening to that a lot more, and I definitely kind of pushed that off initially. But that's just growing on me.
Neither is More Life.
It's music that I put on some sort of list. This nigga gets fucking shit together. But like you said, he touched on a lot of good stuff. I feel touched on the son, but in a sense, he touched on his son a lot. But I kind of feel like he needed to say shit with his chest, like he did it on March 14th. And then he kind of just alluded to it throughout a couple different songs. I feel like he either should have pushed the album back and either decided, yo, I'm gonna talk my shit. Fuck this nigga Bush. I'm gonna talk my shit about my son, or just completely ignore it and just keep moving forward, and just come out with your son and whatever you're doing later on according to your calendar. But I still think it was a pretty good album. I've definitely been bumping it these past few days. I'm gonna continue to bump it for quite some time. But I would say slightly disappointed.
I mean,
in the project. Only because I had such high hopes.
Stanness does to you. Stanness is a disease, Wesley, like gonorrhea.
It bothers me when the gods get to acting like the broads. I'm sorry.
Oh man, we will touch on that just a tad later. But you mentioned it. Why would you try if you don't have to at anything in life? That's just what it is. Some people are, more fortunate than others in certain areas of life, and Drake has definitely worked for everything he's had, so he has earned the right to not try. The day the Scorpion came out, 54 songs got platinum plaques, I believe. I think that was the number. 54 old songs, talking about deep cuts and album cuts, got certified platinum. A lot of artists don't even have 54 songs total in their catalogs.
Yeah.
And Drake got 54 platinum plaques the day that his new 25 song album came out. And that's not counting the stuff that was already platinum. So that tells you just how much power this dude really has. It's almost scary how much power he has consolidated in himself. And, he earned, I hate to say it, but he earned the right to not be able to not have to try.
Clearly he's put in the work. He's given us the bangers,
Yeah,
the banger albums, and he's.
but because of that, we have gone 5 years without a truly good Drake project.
I don't know if I would say
Like
okay, truly good. I've
like really good. Like again, that liquid heroin.
okay, all right, yeah, not the
You know,
not the Pop the Vein. We haven't had a Pop the Vein project in a while. We've had some good shit. We had some good shit. This is a good project.
yeah. No, we've had Drake has become essentially a Honda Accord. He has become a point A to point B artist. He will give you good shit. He will give you good shit that will get you from point A to point B. He will get you from the beginning to the end of the summer. He will
A Honda Accord. God damn.
a loaded Honda Accord, but he will, he will quench your thirst. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, get you from point A to point B, but he is no longer he's I can't depend on Drake to give me an album that I'm gonna be listening to in 5 years. Not no more. And he always has the option of being able to change that. If he really want to put his foot in the album, he can do it. But you got to understand that he's in a different position than J. Cole or Kendrick or anybody other heralded rapper right now. His understandably so, his motivation is lacking. But again, we talked about legacy a lot with with LeBron, and when it comes down to weigh Drake's legacy, he will go down. I think right now he is arguably the greatest song maker in the history of the rap game. That is another hot take. But
I'm gonna have to sit with that and do some research. But I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm leaning towards agreeing with that.
It's a warm take at the very least. But the hot take is just rapping wise, these last 4 to 5 years have, I feel like, damn near eliminated his opportunity to go down as top 5 or 10 or even 15. Like, he's not a top 15 rapper rapping wise of all time. Not even close to it. But artists, he might be number 1. So that tells you about just the duality of Aubrey, Drake, Graham as a man. Light skin, one side, blackface on the other. And
that was photoshopped, clearly.
My dear friend Wesley, that brings me into my next and more important point of this podcast. Drake can no longer play the nice guy role. Why? Because Drake's not a nice guy. He's not a good guy. He's not a good man. He's not a sweet man. He's not whatever. Just because you decide to try to wife and save a few strippers or video vixens because you like to get on tracks and talk about your feelings, does that make you a good person? No, it doesn't, because he's not. And we talk about the evolution of Drake. We talk about, Degrassi to So Far Gone to, Young Money, to early 2010s to the guy we see today. And he has still always relied, when he needed to, he relied on that crutch of humanizing himself. And we are all human. But Drake, through his prime, which I think he's past his prime.
Oh my God.
Hot sizzle.
That's the hottest take.
Past it. Just rapping wise, effort wise, he's past it. In his prime, he was able to humanize himself. He was able to, speak very relatably to people. He still speaks relatably to people because we're all, as humans, we're all in some shade of gray, morally, socially. And that's what was new. That's what was refreshing about him. That's how he was able to elevate himself. And he was able to do all that and sound good doing it. The songs were good. The melodies were good. The hooks were good. the bars were good. But now you look at Drake and the nigga's problematic. He has become a victim of his own fame. Um, like I mentioned on our last pod, the worst uh line ever. It's starting to get up there in ever land. One of the worst lines of all time, just in terms of holding up over time, is the "I can never have a kid and then be out here still kidding around." That shit is not aging well. That shit is aging like Kellyanne Conway, my guy.
If you would have listened to the ad lib, it was saying "just kidding" in the background, which would have eliminated this whole conversation. I don't know, it's 5-minute spiel you went on would have saved yourself 5 minutes talking. But I kind of disagree to an extent about Drake being a nice guy. Drake's never really been a nice guy. He's always played the nice guy. But Drake's lyrics, he's pretty misogynistic.
Extremely.
It's pretty dismissive of women in general. So for me, kind of like, this is why I'm not necessarily super. The whole Adonis shit is like, didn't really disappoint me to that extent. It's like I felt that I love you as an artist, but
You ain't shit.
I know that you're not necessarily not a good person. You're really not shit. So I'm not surprised by it. And that kind of like leads Drake and just to quickly go off on a quick tangent, that kind of leaves Drake in a weird position because he played the nice guy, but we know he's not a nice guy, and that's kind of getting exposed a little bit more. And then his tough talk, it's not the same. We've seen him. Drake is one of the premier tough talkers in the game. Everything sounded great up until about 2 months ago. I can't even listen to Free Smoke anymore. That shit hurts.
Nah.
The smoke costs now. And he ain't got the funds. But that leaves him in quite the predicament. Whereas you can't necessarily, you can play the nice guy. Well, you can play the nice guy, but we're not necessarily believing that as much as we did previously. And that tough talk's not hitting anymore.
So we just don't believe you. All your lyrics coming back to bite you, buddy. All right.
It's sad for my boy, but I'm still riding with Dougie. He's still, I actually feel like he's still capable of making good music. Hopefully we get a truly great project coming up soon. But yeah, it's a little not, it's not quiet. It's because it can't never be quiet for him. He's too big of an artist, too big of a just a stable in music. But it's a little quieter than it was previously for my man.
Yeah, it's the whole Adonis thing, it's easy to, it's easy to get caught up in it, but just like you said, in day he's a rapper. I expect that from rappers. I expect rappers not to claim their children, but my thing is he tried to take this probably the most negative, like the worst PR hit that he's ever taken in his career. And he tried to once again humanize himself. He wanted to create some type of sympathy or ethos, especially on March 14th. He wanted to get us on his side, like, oh, I said I would never do this, but I ended up doing that, and I never wanted to be like my family, and guess what I did? Like, try to get us to, oh, Drake, you know what? Okay, we understand, and no.
Yep. I got it. That's what I did.
Nah, bruh, like, this ain't it. That ain't it. TBH, the pusher stand in me, wants to put my nigga up on a pedestal and give him all the credit for, bringing this out here to the light. But it ain't even about that. The thing about it is, two things would have happened if it was not for, the push beef in general. Either Drake would have rolled that boy out on the front of an Adidas poster to sell some goddamn tracksuits, or he would have never mentioned him ever. Maybe not till the waning stages of his career when he's reflecting on shit. Maybe then he would have brought him up.
Those are like the two options that probably would end up happening. But to an extent, this is probably just the stand talking, but like, this nigga doesn't owe us
to talk about his kid. He doesn't.
This nigga doesn't owe us. This nigga, we don't have. He's not obligated to say, you know what, I fucked so and so on this date. My semen entered her fallopian tubes on at this
No,
time period.
no, no,
We
no,
can see the
Brody.
child. Um,
That's a great
but
point. That's a
but
great point.
but I will say, kind of the persona that he projects
Glass house, man.
would lead him to, if the situation were to occur, kind of talk about it. But like I said, it wasn't really an obligation, but the way you kind of painted yourself is like, hey, if this were to happen, like,
Yeah,
it's something that needs to be discussed.
he Drake's the type of nigga who has been wanting to risk that ass in his glass house. He has been throwing stones. Shout out to Big Crit.
Of course, yes.
He has
There's
been
no
throwing
issues.
stones at everyone for as far as I can remember. He has, straight demolished niggas, such as Meek Mill, to just clown the niggas like Joe
Shout out Meek,
Budden.
welcome home, buddy.
And he has just thrown shot after shot after shot after shot, while all keeping up this persona that I'm not a tough guy. I don't like to go there. I just like to have a good time and save a bunch of ladies and get in my feelings. But if you guys take me there, I'll go there. I'll defend myself. And then that's how you get all the Twitter talk, all the y'all be coming for Drake like he's soft. Y'all act like he's soft. He blah blah blah. Drake was never soft. He fooled y'all. All right. Not only was he never soft, he never really acted soft. He may be soft spoken, but again, that's part of that well-crafted persona that the nigga has been building ever since he was on Degrassi. He is smart. He is smart as hell. There's a reason why him and LeBron are friends. They are both geniuses in how they market themselves. And Drake has built up so much sympathy. He's made himself look attacked. He's made himself look bullied. He's made himself look like this guy who just wants to be in the music industry and have a good time and kick it with his people and make a lot of money and fuck a lot of women. And he's created it. But in reality, I think over these past few months, we have really seen how petty and how dark Drake actually is on the inside. And you know what? If he cared and if he had to really, 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 really go rap, he could put this shit on wax and drop the best album he's ever made. But he's not, because he doesn't have to. So, Aubrey Drake Graham, you are a genius, but at the same time, I will definitely stop short of calling you a fraud. But the facade has been cut through. Now I'm interested to see how because I'm sure by the time everything started happening, the majority of Scorpion was done. I'm interested to see where he goes from here, because he's at a crossroads. He's at probably one of the bigger crossroads he's been at in his career. Do I continue faking on?
This is, I would say, the biggest crossroad he's ever been at.
Yeah.
This is the test. What are you gonna do from here?
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested to see. And my takes and maybe make it seem like I hate Drake or whatever, and it's not that.
Said the nigga's past his prime. I'm about to tweet this nigga right now. That's very disrespectful.
Let him know it's not that. Again, I am a fan of Drake, always have been, but I can also pull myself out of it and see him from a more objective point of view. And just like I do for any other of my favorite artists, I just hold him accountable for what he says, and especially when he contradicts himself, and especially when he looks like a hypocrite. So that's all it really is.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I'm definitely I'm a rational stand. I am a
rational stand. That's a good one.
Rational stand. Yeah, I'm rational. Like Kobe's my favorite player, but I'm definitely respected, and I can honor the fact that LeBron is a better player than Kobe.
That's real.
Almost always has been.
That's real.
But to the point, I can't say Drake's past his prime. We haven't seen the sheer greatness in quite some time, but we see flashes.
True. True.
And I feel like if he focuses, I feel like that's what's going to happen. Now, like you said, we're at this crossroads of where are you going to go from here? What are you going to do? I feel like his back is somewhat against the wall, or at least as much as it can be. It's ever been
for him.
Yeah, as much as it can be to this point through his career. So I think hopefully, I guess in the next year or so, he comes back with some heat.
We'll see.
And we'll see what happens from there. Shout out to Grayson Allen. Nigga tried to fight Trae Young today. I'm with it.
Fuck both of them. Trey Young's put up more air balls than I've ever seen in a summer league. You almost got to respect his bravado, and Grayson Allen just fuck him to hell.
I'm gonna need you to chill because that is
he'll be out of the league in 4 years. But
because he's fucking these hoes.
but speaking of that duality, and speaking of the just the contradiction of the personas that these artists craft versus the lives that they live, we would be hard pressed to move on without quickly mentioning the murder of XXX Tentacion a couple weeks ago now. And I will say this is the most divided I've ever seen, in my, young adult life, the most widely, divided, the most polarizing death that I've seen of any rapper. And it's hard because, again, just like I mentioned, we are all in some shade of gray as humans. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is just altruistic. Nobody's Jesus. At the same time, nobody's the devil either. So, but with that, it's really hard. Again, come back to the same topic, and maybe that's really the theme of the show, is judging legacies, is really crafting legacies, for people who led problematic existences. XXX Tentacion was not Bill Cosby. It wasn't probably not even Michael Jackson, because we're gonna keep it buck. Michael Jackson was a fucking pedophile. Hey, sorry. It is what it is, and he was not that. But was he abusive? Did he beat women? Yeah. Did he speak very derogatorily? It's not a word, but
it works.
but did he speak very disparagingly of a lot of women and a lot of people for a long time? He was only 20 when he was killed. He did, and we're not going to absolve him of his sins just because he died. I can't do that, but at the same time, can you completely condemn him for that, to the point where you say fuck him and I don't care that he died or he deserved to die? I don't feel like you go that far either.
It's tough, kind of just to see as how young he was, and you saw the worst in what he did, the worst in kind of humanity in parts of what he did, and then you could see kind of toward the end of his life, you could see somewhat of a realization of his behavior, and kind of you could see, I don't know if it was truly sincere, but you saw a change a little bit in him. Like myself, I remember his first song, "Look at Me," when that came out.
Yeah, don't we all?
Drake. Yeah, him saying Drake stole his flow, whatever. That's kind of my introduction to him. And then shortly thereafter, I heard about the allegations, him assaulting, beating up his pregnant girlfriend, and everything he was doing at the time. So I was like, man, fuck this cat.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to none of his music. So I didn't rock with him up until his death. And then I got on Twitter and everything and saw the outpouring, and a lot of people, the majority of people being sympathetic towards him. There was still a good number of people who were kind of like on the spectrum of just fuck this guy completely. Glad he's dead. But it kind of showed me, and then I got to doing a little bit more research and kind of seeing where he was at mentally in those last few months leading up to his death. So it's kind of tough to say dude was unredeemable as a human, but we can't dismiss completely what his behavior was at the time. So that's like that's kind of like the main issue of the duality of these entertainers, these people that we hold up, these artists, in that, like, we see somewhat, we were just talking about in Drake, seeing that they give us great music, they give us great enjoyment, stuff that we can feel, stuff that we love, stuff that we hold dear to us. But at the same time, in their personal lives or their character, they're not necessarily people that we should hold in such high regard and such high esteem. So that's kind of like that's tough. That's really fucking tough, because myself, I have there's a couple artists I still listen to that
I will not
I should have
put you
canceled.
out there
Yeah.
on this podcast, but I know who you are referring to, and I want to know. I just want the world to know I'm very disappointed in you. All right, but
I'm disappointed in myself, but the goddamn bangers,
but
I just can't leave the
uh,
fucking bangers alone. But
you know,
that's the tough thing in life
y'all
because
don't really
I
hear
feel
me
like
though. Y'all not hearing me. Y'all don't hear me though.
I,
All right.
f- I feel like that's tough. We'd be cutting a lot of people out of our lives, if we solely went on just canceling people completely off of incidents. But it's tough. That is a situation. That's a something we all had to deal with individually, and what you're willing to tolerate from these people
Yeah.
that we get art from. So it's tough.
New future. I'm sorry. Breaking news.
I tweeted him earlier. I hope he dropped.
The breaking news here. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Beast Mode 2, ladies and gentlemen. Super Future is returning. Not sure. I don't think it dropped yet, but it has been officially announced.
It says Future just tweeted a minute ago. Beast Mode 2 midnight Eastern time. So about less than a half hour. You guys can and when you hear this will come on after it's dropped. You can thank me because at let me check at 10:01 p.m. Future tweeted, "Should I give my fans a mixtape until my album's complete?" And I said, "Let that tape fly, Fire Marshal." So hopefully we're getting Fire Marshal Future.
Beast Mode 2.
In Beast Mode 2. This is the second time I have coerced a project out of a rapper. I remember I tweeted when Drake let that God's Plan snippet out. I said, "Hey, they'll let that full song go." Later that night, the song drops. I got the juice. Follow the podcast. Follow me. And I will get you
at Beware the Ills on Twitter. Go ahead, follow the pod. Available.
Get your favorite artist to drop projects.
Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, the YouTube. Working on getting in Google Play. For all our Android people out there, we got y'all.
Yeah, yo, for all my Android people, get a fucking iPhone. How about that?
Wow, Future's
scrambled. A track list dropped already too. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Back to X, and this is. I'm glad that we are having this discussion. I hate that a 20-year-old had to lose his life for this discussion to happen, but this is going forward. This is something that's going to be extremely important. Like how much do you weigh who somebody was versus who they're trying to be, who they're trying to turn into? Are things truly redeemable? Because people always want to make it seem as if, oh, all you have to do is try, or I may not completely forgive you, but I can respect you for who you're trying to become. And in the case of X, that's definitely not it. He is getting burned at the cross, and I'm not even necessarily saying he shouldn't get burned at the cross, but all I'm saying is, you got to stop putting this narrative out here that all this can in time be forgivable if in your mind is not. And it's just in the end it kind of becomes this Twitter, this social media thing where people just say stuff and there's nothing behind it. They say all this hypothetical stuff where when people get on Twitter and start talking about what they want in a partner, or all you got to do is be this, all you got to do is be that, but it's right there for you, and it ain't what you want, and that's okay if that's not what you want. But at the same time, you don't put this altruistic, I'm just so, divine and everyone's human and whatever. Basically, you can't choose when to humanize people and when not to humanize people. If we're humans, we got to be human the whole time. All right. Or if there are certain things, sexual, abuse, rape, domestic violence, murder, whatever, that you think removes people from the kingdom of humanity, then that's it. But you can't go contradicting yourself. You can't go preaching different methods.
Basically, it's one of the themes that we've been preaching for this entire podcast, which is keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. That's it. At all fucking times. Keep the same motherfucking energy. So to XXX Tentacion, I do hope that his spirit finds the peace, in the afterworld, that in afterlife, that he could not find, here on planet Earth. He, despite how I felt about him, it's definitely a generational gap, and there are a lot of kids and teens, that really look to him as a beacon of hope. And if he was that for you, I'm not mad that he was. And if he wasn't, I'm not mad that he wasn't. All right. But just RIP, and
Yeah.
I go ahead.
Yeah, I feel similarly. Yeah, definitely rest in peace on his. And my thing is, nobody, no matter how bad you are, nobody deserves to die at 20 years old.
No, I agree.
That's way too early in life. Before you can make changes. But you spoke to it. If you looked up to him, I hope that you're able to move forward.
Real quick, before we hop to our final subject, I do want to say that social media has completely 200% misconstrued the Jay-Z line on Talk Up, on Drake's album Scorpion. That bar, essentially, y'all niggas killed X.
Y'all killed X.
Let George live.
Streets is done.
Streets is done. I have so many people, including Waka Flocka, who always wants to speaks ignorantly on shit that he does not understand.
That's very on brand for Flocka. We've seen him. We know what's up.
It's so much. Well, I don't appreciate the message the Ho was putting out there. I feel like that's out of line. Like, nigga, you the one that actually got the money and the resources to get George Zimmerman killed if you want to. But you saying that people out on the streets should put their lives on the line to do it. Nigga, why don't you do it? Why don't you keep that same energy? Why don't you blah, blah, blah? Y'all have no idea. That line went completely over y'all heads. 200% over y'all heads. It ain't got nothing to do with actually killing George Zimmerman. He's not actually speaking on George Zimmerman at all. It's you little fucking test tube YouTube babies came from an era where y'all niggas do not understand nuance. Y'all do not understand allegories. Y'all do not understand metaphors, because y'all spend all y'all fucking time in school making up new dances. All right? Fuck that. All right? Understand.
The yeet is the problem here.
The bar is in reference to street code. Code out here in these streets, just like the whole no dope on Sundays code, or y'all seen The Wire, when niggas shot at Omar when he was taking his grandmama to church. Oh, that was it. You broke the code. That was it. You feel me? And this is similar, in that Hove is essentially saying that you out here, you killing the young inspirational folk. You out here killing X for the sake of robbing him, for the sake of taking money from him. So you killing up and coming, potentially inspiring, influential people who's out here in some way, shape, or form trying to help the streets, instead of killing the nigga that is directly damaging culture and directly damaging you and your people as a whole, not only with the killing itself of Trayvon Martin, but with everything that came afterwards. When he says the streets is done, the code is done. Y'all values is in the wrong place. Y'all worried about the wrong shit. That's it. No direct references, no none of that. Y'all niggas is worried about the wrong shit. Just like I respect the one, y'all respect the one that got shot. I respect the shooter. Hove drops these little gems every once in a while, and that was another one.
Yeah, but I couldn't get on. I can't elaborate further. Yeah, the niggas, young niggas don't get this shit. And old niggas too. Flocka don't get it. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But let's get to these top fives. We run a little.
Yeah. It's it's time. We're gonna go ahead wrap this thing up. But before we get out of here, we told y'all we was gonna give y'all a Drake centric top five. In honor.
Speaking of Drake, I gotta send you this picture. Bria Miles posted on Instagram. Golly, Bria is one of Drake's stripper friends. But
Yes.
you'll see when I send you it, you'll see it. But this was I apologize for interrupting, but you'll understand.
Yeah. No.
Once it comes.
No. It's all good, my good brother.
Top five.
So we talked about we talk a lot about energy, about keeping the same energy, all of the energy, and energy, is what Drake tends to bring to his records. Whatever record he touches turns to gold, and that energy directly equates into motherfucking dollars for a lot of artists in the game, both new and old. So our top five of this week are our top 5 Drake features. Now I'm gonna go and
featuring Drake.
Definitely featuring Drake. Now I want to go ahead and start because Wes is the Drake stan, so he deserves to go on last in this case. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give y'all just my some of my personal favorites. Just ones that I feel like were particularly impactful. And I want to start with real quick with a couple of honorable mentions that are not going to make my list, but
I for sure have a good stack of honorable mentions too.
but I feel deserve a lot of credit. First of all, For My Town, Play Ball. Take it back to 2009.
That just missed my honorable mentions, but yes, it needs to be there. It's up there.
All Hail Mr. Lyrical. Spades of the Opus, baby. What you got a feeling for? At this time, Drake was essentially carrying Birdman's career on his back. All right. He did whatever he could for the bald 5-star bastard to keep him afloat. And For My Time, Play Ball, not a long verse, but the verse that he threw on absolutely saved what essentially would be a trash song without him. So I give him a lot of peas for that. Also, one more honorable mention that I feel like deserves just a little bit of credit. A song by the name of Poppin' Bottles, which was featured on T.I.'s No Mercy album. Another really good young 2010 Drake verse. This was winter days back in Kent. We had like hella snow days, like 4 snow days in like one season, and niggas was trapped in a dorm listening to No Mercy. If T.I. wouldn't have went to jail, I always say that Poppin' Bottles and Welcome to the World with Kanye and Kid Cudi would have been smash hit singles. But went to jail, couldn't promote the song, so a lot of people never heard them. So Poppin' Bottles, T.I. featuring Drake, is
that's a good one.
So one of those lost songs. But to the top 5, and I'm going to start with a more recent one. Titty Boy 2 Chainz featuring Drake, Big Amount. I feel as if this is peak Holland Drake. We talk about Drake's bravado, his free smoke Drake, talking shit Drake. This is it at its highest power. Just absolutely from beginning to end of that verse. Niggas say never stayed at a Marriott or a West End. 5-star, nothing less than. And nigga disrespected the West End. That's a 4.5 star. That's a 4.5 star hotel.
Completely uncalled for. There's no reason for you to do that. Hey.
6 guy with the God flow. Just absolutely a song, Big Amount, that's not that good sonically. Is not the best song in the world, but Drake really just got on there and just ripped that shit to shreds. So my number 5, 2 Chainz featuring Drake, Big Amount. My number 4, again, Drake saving Birdman's career, Money to Blow. Such
I am on a
24-hour champagne diet. Such a smooth record. I'm talking about silky. Like, this shit belongs on a 70s Soul Gold infomercial that comes on at 3 a.m. with like Walt Clyde Frazier and some light-skinned chick. Like, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Drake in his purest form. I'm talking just melodic, talking just sweet to the ears. I absolutely love that track, and still to this day can listen to it like it was brand new. Great song. Now, number 3 is where, you know, I drop something on your head that you might not have been thinking about. Number 3, Timbaland featuring Drake, Say Something.
My good man, that's definitely on my list.
It basically follows the same tone as Money to Blow. Just Drake, 09, 08, 09, 2010, and probably into 2011. Drake's melodies were second to none. Hearing that man get on the track and talk about sitting back and drinking wine and watching Californication
Vacation of life.
made you want to aspire for that life. At that point in time, I had never had a glass of wine and I had never watched Californication. But look at me now, as I just finished a whole season marathon of Californication, drinking some Pinot. All right, there you go.
It's beautiful.
And just, you know, just discussing, you know, the idea of, you know, needing that special lady to get you through life. And what's the point in going through life if she ain't by your side? That's
You should have been here to kick. Actually, I'm gonna get into that when I go with my top 10.
okay.
Sorry, bro.
It's my number 3, Timbo featuring Drake, Say Something. Number 2, actually my personal favorite, Lord, French Montana featuring Rick Ross and Drake, Stay Scheming. Stay Scheming was the birth of Holland Drake, the birth of Bravado Drake. Other than, you know, some of the shit that we heard, you know, maybe in his early days, like the ignorant shit, the freestyle type days, we hadn't gotten a lot of that up until that point in late 2011 with Stay Scheming. And Common came for Serena Williams, and Drake sent right back for him.
That's actually something I thought we would have in common, because that is actually my number 1. That is
wow.
one of
Wow.
Yeah, I'm spoiling my top 5 early, but
I honestly thought when we created this list that Drake had so many features that it was going to be very, very different. But you know what? This that podcast synergy. This is why we're business associates.
That's why we have such good chemistry. But I felt like that.
Yeah, and this is why Viceland, we deserve that replacement Deezus and Miro spot. We know y'all looking for somebody.
It only makes sense. You had great ratings with 2 minorities talking their shit, and we are 2 minorities who talk our shit.
Hey, we charge significantly less, and
Sure.
you're not gonna get that gutter BX perspective, but you will definitely get that suburban Hidden Hills, Delaware, University Heights, Ohio perspective. Hey, maybe from the suburbs, but we done lived a lot of life.
Oh, so no, we've seen a lot. This will be a tremendous investment on your part. But
yes,
yeah, I felt you go get you number 1, good brother.
Number 1, Right Fast. Now this is a song that I assumed was gonna be your number 1, but it is actually a little bit obvious. Aston Martin music.
See, that is where I defer, because Aston Martin music is good, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Paris Morton music is his own song. Music. So that was a Drake song.
That's fair. But I gotta go Aston Martin music. I mean, you just talk about a nigga that just makes relatable shit. You know, there are people, there are artists that I can't get jiggy with because they try too hard to be relatable. It almost be a, hey, look, I'm relatable. I'm talking about contemporary topics. Hey, urban youth, you should vibe with me. I don't do that. You know, and there are tons of artists that push the I'm so relatable narrative. Bryson Tiller being number 1 on that list. And a big reason why I'm not a Bryson Tiller fan, but Drake just seamlessly weaves that shit in, over that melodic ass beat. And he just gets in, and that nigga hops on the beat and just starts spitting. And a nigga talks about being 23 and going through a midlife crisis. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah.
It's it. I mean, it's it. Talking about his goals and his dreams and his failures and where he feel like he should be, versus where he actually is.
Everything,
man.
The beat sets it off ever so perfectly. It's just.
Yes.
That like I said, I don't have it as number one because I consider that I just said Paris Morton Music is its own song. But that is, I don't know if I'm gonna say it's my favorite Drake song, but it's definitely top at least 2, maybe 3 at the worst. But that shit,
sure.
I love that shit so much.
For sure. So I've already chopped up a lot of your top 5.
We got into it. I'll say my quick honorable mentions. I had a couple honorable mentions. Money to Blow was on there as honorable mention. Fuck Money to Blow. You got into it. No Lie with Titty 2 Chainz. I feel like that was a very good Drake verse. Not necessarily top 5, but it's
strong.
Very, very strong.
I consider top 5 instead of Big Amount. Actually, and the thing that knocked it out of my top 5 was she might have a Grammy, but we still treat her as like a nominee. Just want to see what that pussy like. And one time is fine with me. Again, you lying ass nigga, because you was in love with Rihanna, head ass, and you was crying over her ass every time that she cut you off.
So
2-3 times
what,
after.
Nigga. So what? Shit sounds cool. Niggas ain't got to rap about what they talk about. Also had my honorable mention. I also had Right Above It. One of the more iconic Drake verses.
Also my honorable mentions as well.
And then my last honorable mention was No New Friends. Each time I say go home, like James Harden. It's very underrated Drake verse. Nice sets the tone. Getting into my top 5, number 5. I don't have anything in my top 5. I think the most recent one is 2012.
Okay.
So number 5 is Moment for Life.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Off of Nicki's album. I want to say it was Pink Print, maybe. I don't know.
No, it was
Pink Friday. Pink Friday. Debut. Pink Friday. Yep.
Me and Nicki getting married today. Woo! Yeah, you a star in my eyes. Okay.
Yeah, that's top 5 too. Number 4 is Say Something. The way that Drake just takes hold of the hook in his verse. It's really, we did need Timberland. So Timberland's a legend in what he does in making these beats, but it's like he could have just left and just said, Drake just had his shit. Yeah, this is yours.
Facts.
Number 3, I have Made Men, Rick Ross song. Wow. Drizzy hopped on.
That's one that completely went over my head, but you know what? Yeah. If I would have thought about it, it might have gone in there.
One of my baddest women ever, I call her Rihanna. But that's because her name is Rihanna. Gotta have that in there.
Yeah.
My number 1 is Stay Scheme. We already talked about that. But my number 2, I'm Getting So Thrilled. I ain't went this hard since I was 18. Yeah. I'm on one.
And see, just like you felt conflicted just because of how the songs were classified or broken down. You kept Aston Martin.
Oh, is this trust issues?
Yes, indeed. Oh. You kept Aston Martin music out of your top 5 because of Paris Morton music, right. And I kept I'm on one out of mine because I love Trust Issues more as a song.
Okay, yeah,
but
I
understandable.
I have my moments, but yeah, that either, like I said, those 2 verses, whether on their own or in the songs that they were packaged with, are definitely in the top conversation for Drake features. But
wow,
those are lists. Those
surprisingly similar lists. So
very similar. So we had some kind of couple few that were out of there for each other. But that's
I'm proud of you. We haven't been agreeing on a lot of shit lately, but I gotta give you peace for that. Also songs that I feel like should be thrown somewhere in the discussion that I had down on my little notepad list here that were not mentioned. It's hard not to mention Versace, Tony Montana, and
I had to cut Tony Montana from honorable mention. That.
Oh man, listen, bruh, on the hood you see the stallion, passenger a stallion. And also this is a heartwarming Kent favorite, Lil Reese Us remix. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh man, that put a smile on my face, brother. You know what?
Yeah.
You're not so bad after all.
See, Reese, Sosa, Fredo, Dirk. Drizzy get a verse. You gonna get this work. R.I.P. Fredo.
Yeah, R.I.P. Fredo. We're gonna scream that every time we talk. But speaking of get this work, I think work could kind of be in the conversation as well.
I feel like it would have to be just based off a smash hit.
Yeah. Especially
you know.
when you in the mix and you faded and you
Oh yeah.
need to get out.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
All
yeah,
that, all that.
yeah. Work was it.
And then just the last one I was going through a list and I found I completely forgot about this verse. His In the Morning verse with
wow,
J. Cole's. Yeah, the J. Cole.
yeah, that's a true throwback. Man,
Completely forgot about that song.
the power of two light skinned niggas on an R&B sounding track. It can change the game.
Almost undefeated.
But
undefeated.
So y'all out there listening, at home, or in your car radios, or huddle on a street corner, singing doo-wop quartets around around a burning garbage can, wherever you're listening at. We want to hear your thoughts too. So go ahead, hit us up, either individually at Uptown Ace Boogie or at Ain't That Wes, or at the show Twitter handle at Beware the Ills, and let us know what are your top 5 Drake features.
For sure, we know that you're either Drake fans or you hate Drake. But I know we know you have an opinion on the matter either way, so we want to hear what you guys have to say, see how they compare to our list, and say what you have to see. Put out your top 5 so I can point out the errors and inability of you to use critical thinking.
Facts. Before we get out of here, right fast. I am. You know what? I don't think we should give out any formal L's of the week, because you know what? Everybody been trying. You know what I'm saying? I will give niggas A's for effort over the last couple weeks.
For sure. I was struggling to come up with an L.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it wasn't a good one. The one I had wasn't really a good one.
This is Beware the L's, but you know what? We also give credit. This is what the whole point of this pod is, to get niggas to avoid the L's. And you know what? These last couple weeks, people have been doing pretty damn good. So you know what? Kudos to y'all. Clearly, y'all have been listening to the pod. So obviously, thank you to all of our first time, long time, L of the Week recipients. The Tigers,
sure.
the DJ Academics, the NRAs.
Shout out Roseanne.
The Roseannes, the Trumpito.
Have fun watching your show without you.
Yeah.
Dickhead. But I'm sorry. L talk.
But I do want to give one unofficial L of the week to the entire NBA, the entire National Basketball Association. Because
that was my
because you imagine being a young man. You grow up, playing basketball out in the streets. You're out in Oakland, playing basketball in the park for your Hotep / half Wakandian father, who got killed in front of your eyes, and you have one dream of being in the NBA. You want to be like Speedy Claxton. You want to be like Derek Anderson. You want to be like Shandon Anderson.
I'm gonna say right now, if you are a child, I guess, of our age, and your hero is goddamn Shandon Anderson, you deserve to get hit by a truck. You deserve to play basketball and tear both your ACLs at the same time. That's disgusting.
Listen, you want to be Tom Gugliotta. You feel me? You want to be these guys that you look up to, and you work so hard your whole life. You play AAU, and you miss out on having fun, and you ain't got no hoes, and you really ain't got no friends outside of your cousin. That kind of latches on to you, and what.
Shandon Anderson's middle name was Rodriguez. This is disgusting.
And latches on to you, or your boy, your longtime boy, from the projects, who followed you around and made sure you didn't get into any trouble. And then when you got to the league, your man started wilding and speaking out to the media and stealing your cars and going on a joyrides and shit. And then eventually y'all fall off because your inner circle and your new girlfriend really ain't fucking with him and think he's bad for your brand. And then the last time y'all talked, the last time y'all talk, y'all get into a big blow up and he say fuck you and shit, and then the nigga dies in the car crash and you don't never get to say bye to him. Imagine doing that. And shout out to the original My Player narrative mode, Spike Lee joint.
Oh yeah, Spike Lee. Yeah. That was a goddamn. What was his friend's name? It was
something stupid. I don't remember. I remember your name was Freaking and Vibing. freaking and vibing. But imagine working your whole damn life, going to college, getting, you're 12 years old, and then they abolished the one and done rule. So now you actually got to get decent grades and actually go to school for like a quarter, and you get to the league, you bust your ass, you work with your boys, might get an all-star or two, you put your team in a position to compete, and then you realize that everything you worked your whole life for was pointless. That's what just happened this weekend with DeMarcus Cousins signing with the goddamn Golden State Warriors. So to everybody, to the hundreds of men in the NBA, the hundreds more in the G League, I'm sorry that your hopes and dreams got to come to an end because all the Warriors are some hoes. I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, but this L's on you.
Quick rebuttal. We knew it was going to happen anyway, so Boogie just made it affirmative. I'm upset at you, sir. You made me spend the last, while you're doing this whole rant, I was Googling Kendon Anderson's stats and pictures. That made me even more upset. But my L was kind of in the same vein. It was just real quickly. I had my L was the casual fans of the NBA. Real niggas who watch basketball. Like I watched. I'm gonna feel ashamed to say this. Lakers my favorite team. I watched like 60 Lakers games last year. It was horrible. I'm still gonna watch basketball. I'm still gonna watch Lakers games. I'm still gonna watch just regular games on NBA TV. I might fuck around and get the full league pass this year. But the casual fan, they weren't necessarily watching this year. That the Warriors are gonna win. And then with this Boogie signing, it's even more so. The casual fan is what's the point of watching? So the NBA might lose a little bit of TV revenue, but I feel like it's gonna get made up on the back end through merchandise. And people fuck with dynasties. People like dynasties are good for leagues because the fans of dynasties are good because they all usually have more fans than the usual fan base.
Fuck that. Nicole Simpson can't rap. I want justice.
Yeah, ain't no justice. If we haven't learned anything
in the world
about life in the last 26 years we've been on Earth, life ain't fucking fair. I don't give a fuck about you.
And on that note, we will wrap up episode.
I don't give a fuck about you. Beware the L's.
Yeah, we out of here. Bye.
I need to talk to Mike Lowry.
Hello, it's Mike Lowry.
Double A flex.
This is the sound.
Through the night when it be storming, hoping everything could clear up by the morning. Niggas telling lies, so I gotta be honest. Ask me for the tellage, you know that I'ma run it. Turned up like we want it, we pulled up on that dumb shit. Flexing on these niggas, pockets full of blue honey. Ain't no going back, you know I'm gon' keep it coming. Ain't no time to waste, a nigga play, we gon' burn him. Today Friday, so you know we on that Clyde and Dodo. I got black and white bitches knocking in my dodo. I'm in the middle of the room, posted with a fofo. I got it out in case a nigga wanna take a photo. Remember me and 3, we used to ride up in a Stolo. Now I'm in a two-door coupe, it used to be a photo. Don't pay for cable, he want static, tell him let me know though. I'm quick to let a nigga have it, you know I'm a blow though. Late at night I used to sneak out my grandfather's window. And I was cooling on a flight and I was hitting them licks though. Wasn't for him, I wouldn't be shit, so I ain't got a trip though. $10,000, that ain't shit, I gave him that times 3 though. Through the night when it be storming, hoping everything could clear up by the morning. Niggas telling lies, so I gotta be honest. Ask me for the tellage, you know that I'ma run it. Turned up like we want it, we pulled up on that dumb shit. Flexing on these niggas, pockets full of blue honey. Ain't no going back, you know I'm gon' keep it coming. Ain't no time to waste, a nigga play, we gon' burn him. Can't talk no gun, but got that Glock while I'm up in the Yodo. Plus my P.O. and the police knocking at my dodo. I get curious to lace the tracks just like a blunt of dope though. I told Nene I'm coming back, she think I'm with a hodo. 100 grand in my pocket when I wanna flex. Back in the day, them niggas laughed when I said them niggas. Up with the chopper, case that boy try reach for my neck. You know I pop him, fuck that shit, I put his ass to rest. Turned up like we want it, we pulled up on that dumb shit. Flexing on these niggas, pockets full of blue honey. Ain't no going back, you know I'm gon' keep it coming. Ain't no time to waste, a nigga play, we gon' burn him.